All right, the Edit Nodes tool is over here underneath these tools here. You can either click on it to bring up that tool, or Control or Command backtick will also bring up that tool. Come here, Happy. I'll put a picture of what it looks like on the screen because it looks like an apostrophe but backwards. It's also got the, it shares a key with the tilde, so if that works for you. Not Shopcat. Oh God! All right, so like we talked about with the Draw Lines tool, where you were placing nodes on the workspace, and in between those nodes are your lines or your paths. The Edit Nodes feature allows you to edit that node placement in your workspace and within that shape. Now, there are a lot of different ways that you can edit, and if you hover over the Edit Nodes tool, you can see all the different things that you can do to actually edit the nodes. So S, smooth node or line, and in order to make these work, you hover over the node and then hit the corresponding letter with what you want to do. So if we hover over with our Edit Nodes selected and the piece selected, if we hover over this and hit S for now, smooths that line out. Adds the handles or tangents so that we can change the way that this piece looks. Conversely, if I want to change one of these lines or nodes back to a regular line, if you hover over here, L, convert curve to line. So we'll hover over this, hit L, and now that is back to an angle or a line. All right, C, convert node to corner. So if I hover over this node and hit C, or right now these handles or tangents work in tandem. So they both move and they stay in line with each other. But if I hover over this node and hit C, now you can see that my handles work independently. So I just converted this curve into a corner, or this node point of a curve into a corner. D is the next hotkey on our list. And you can see that it says delete node or line, and it does exactly what you would think it would. Hover over the node, hit D, and that deletes that point. D, delete. So now we just have these two. Control Z to undo that. I, insert node point. This again does exactly what you would think it would do. It places a node in this shape. So I will hover over this line, hit I, and now you can see I have another point or node where I can edit this shape. Now let's say I want a node at the midpoint between these two nodes. The next hotkey is M, insert node at midpoint. I'm going to hover over that line and M. And now this node point is directly in between these other two nodes. The next hotkey is B for break shape at point. So I'm going to hover over this node that we just inserted at the midpoint, hit B, and I'm going to click on it and drag down, and now you can see that there was another node inserted, or an endpoint, and then I was able to drag that out of the way. So that breaks your shape wherever that point is that you put. You have to be hovering over a node in order for this to work though. So hovering over a node, B, break, and you can see that is separated now. All right, I had to do some finagling to make this next one work, but if you hover over here, you can see T, trim line. And now we have these two lines that are intersecting. If I want this line trimmed back to the next intersection point, so this point right here, I'm going to hover over there and hit T, and now it's going to draw that line back to where it intersects with this other line. Do that again, T, and you can see it cuts all the way back. Now if you want these two to intersect at this point, or at this intersection point, if you want this to be a node and complete or continue this line, you can hover over this one and hit T, and then you have to select it, hover over that line and hit T, and now that intersection point is an actual connected point in that line. Let's move this over here. So if I want this point extended straight to this point, I'm going to hover over it and hit E, and that's our next tool, is the E for extend line. We'll Control Z so you can see that again. Hover over the point, hit E, and it extends all the way to the nearest intersection point. And then I can trim the line back to there, and now I have a closed shape. And we'll hover over that, and you can see we are closed by using our measuring tool to view that. So the next tool is really cool. It's A for align selected. So I have this shape, and any of these lines that I hover over and hit A, the shape is going to align or rotate that line that you're hovering over to the nearest horizontal, vertical, or 45-degree angle. So this guy is almost vertical right here. And if I hover over him and hit A, it brings that line to completely up and down, or vertical, or 90 degrees. This guy looks like he's probably closer to horizontal. Let's see what happens here. Yep, there you go, horizontal. This guy looks pretty close to 45 degrees here, but let's hover over here and align, and there you go, 45 degrees. So really cool feature that helps you align your workpiece to specific angles, not overly specific, but there are 3 specific angles that you can get: vertical, horizontal, or 45 degrees, and just help you manage that piece a little bit better. Just like with the Draw Lines tool, we're able to constrain how we're moving these specific nodes when we go to edit them. So if I want to hover over that and grab this, I can move this node anywhere I want to. But if I hold down Shift, again, it brings up those points, 45 degree, vertical, and horizontal, and I can constrain my movement to those fixed angles. And that'll just help you get stuff aligned better. Oh, there's another tip for you. What I just did there, Shift, click. Now you can see these guys are red. Now anything I do is going to happen to all 3 of those. Moving these. Another way to do that, if I click off of them, now it's only this guy that's going to be selected, or this guy, any one of them that I select. But if I drag, hold down the mouse and drag and cover those, now I'm selecting all 3 of those nodes. If I wanted more nodes selected, I would select more nodes, and you can see the ones that are selected are red. Now if I move, anything that I do with these is going to happen to all of them. So there's a quick tip for you. Some things to consider with the Edit Nodes tool is you can only use edit nodes with paths. Now you can make these paths with the Draw Nodes tool, or import them from files or somewhere on the internet. Now with other vector paths such as text, barcodes, or your shapes, you have to convert those to paths prior to being able to edit them. With your shape, you right click on that, select, right click, and convert to path. You can also Ctrl+Shift+C in order to get there. And then you'll be able to edit those nodes. On top of that, if you have grouped objects, you will not be able to edit the nodes on those. You have to ungroup them prior to being able to edit. All right, if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. If you have any comments or I missed anything about this video, please leave them down below. I'd love to be in contact with you, and maybe other people need to hear what you have to say as well. If you got anything out of this, if you could like it, if you are getting anything out of my channel or want to see future videos like this, please subscribe, or consider it at least. And if you think somebody else will find this useful, share it. We'll catch you on the next one. I appreciate it.